This email has no images, no fancy designs, no buttons, just 47 words, and has generated over $500,000 in revenue for my client in 6 months. And while most brands are spending thousands on email designers, this plain text email has outperformed every graphic design they've ever sent. I mark, and over the past 5 years, I've helped e-commerce brands add over 30 million in email revenue. I've written emails for over 70 plus brands, and today I want to share something that has completely changed how I think about email marketing. Most email marketers are obsessed with beautiful designs, fancy images, and complex layouts. They think the more visual elements equals more conversions. But after analyzing over 1,000 email campaigns across dozens of industries, I discovered something that goes against everything the expert teaches. The highest converting emails often look like they're written in 10 minutes by someone who has never even heard about graphic designs. I'm going to show you this email word for word and break down exactly why it works using psychological principles most marketers ignore, and give you the complete framework to write your own 500K emails. Here's the email that has changed everything for my client. Hey, first name. I noticed you're checking out our new collection, but didn't grab anything. I get it. With so many options, it's hard to choose. That's why I'm giving you 20% off your entire order to make the decision easier. Over 2,000 customers have already upgraded their style with this collection. Use code SAVE20, but this only works in the next 24 hours. Talk soon, founder name. And that's it. 47 words. There's no graphics, no fancy formatting, no branded headers. Just a simple message that feels like it came from your friend. This email generated $19,000 in a single send. For context, the industry average for abandoned cart email is around 20 cents per recipient. But here's what completely blew my mind. When we A/B tested this against their previous best performing email, a beautifully designed template with custom graphics, branded colors, and professional photography, this plain text version outperformed it by 340%. The fancy designs wasn't just ineffective, it was actually hurting their conversions. Look at these numbers. The design emails got 50% open rates and a 0.4% click rate compared to a plain text email, who got a 11.84% click rate. Again, this wasn't a fluke. I tested this across 70 plus brands, and a pattern always holds. Plain text emails consistently outperform design emails for specific types of campaigns. So why does it work so well? Well, it really comes down to 4 psychological triggers that most email marketers completely ignore. So here's the psychological breakdown. Trigger 1, personal connection and pattern interrupt. This email doesn't really feel like marketing. It's just like a text from a friend who happens to run a business. And that's really the entire point of plain text emails. So think about your own inbox. When you see an email with fancy header, branded colors, and perfect formatting, the brain automatically categorizes as marketing. You build up resistance to these visual clues because you've been conditioned to expect a sales pitch. But when you see something like a plain text email, especially from a recognizable name, your brain processes it differently. It looks like a personal connection, not mass marketing. And you notice how it starts with hey first name and not something like dear valued customer or greetings from, brand name. The founder is speaking directly to one person, acknowledging their specific behavior. I've noticed you're checking out our newest collection. This wording creates an immediate personal connection because it's based on their actual actions on your website. And here's what's really interesting. We tested the same email with hi there instead of hey first name and saw a 23% drop in performance. That one word change from hey versus hi made a massive difference because hey feels more casual and personal. When you're meeting with a friend, you don't say hi Jake. You're more like hey Jake. So that's what creates that difference. Trigger 2, urgency without pressure. The soft urgency technique. Most brands create urgency by screaming, last chance, or hurry before it's gone. This email does something completely different and is super smart. It acknowledges the customer's hesitation first. I get it. With so many options, it's hard to choose. This shows that the brand shows empathy and understanding. The customer feels heard and not hunted for the sale. Then it positions the discount as a solution to the problem, not a sales tactic. That's why I'm giving you 20% off your entire order to make the decision easier. Do you notice the language? I'm giving you, not we're offering or take advantage of. It's a super personal way to say our messaging. And the reason isn't to drive sales, it's really to make that decision easier. That's positioning the discount as a customer service, not marketing. The 48-hour deadline feels natural because it presents as part of the solution, not artificial scarcity. And that's why it's called soft urgency, creating scarcity without making people feel manipulated. We tested this against a version with only 24 hours left and soft urgency, and the soft urgency version outperformed by 67%. Aggressive urgency triggers untrustworthy. Soft urgency triggers action. Trigger 3, social proof integration. The upgrade psychology. Over 2,000 customers have already upgraded their style with this collection. This specific line is doing heavy psychological lifting, and most people miss it. First, it provides social proof without being obvious about it. It doesn't say 2,000 people bought this, which sounds like a sales pitch. It says they upgraded their style, which implies transformation and improvement. Second, Second, the word is upgraded is critical. It positions the purchase as self-improvement, not just buying stuff. When someone buys, they're not just getting a product, right? They're becoming better versions of themselves. Third, with this collection creates exclusivity. It's not just any purchase. It's specifically this collection that creates that upgrade. And this makes customers feel like they're joining an exclusive group of people who just get it. We tested this line against 2,000 plus happy customers who love this collection, and an upgraded version performed 45% better. The psychology of transformation is more powerful than the psychology of satisfaction. Trigger 4, clearer value propositions. The decision helping framework. The entire email focuses on one thing, making the customer's decision easier. Every single line serves this purpose. This discount isn't a discount. It's a solution to choice paralysis. Look at the flow. Acknowledge their interest. I noticed you were checking out. Again, this validates their hesitation. I get it. With so many options. And then we provide the solution. That's why I'm giving you 20% off. Reinforce the decision. Over 2,000 customers have already upgraded. And then just make the action simple. Use Save 20. Again, we're not selling, it's helping. And that's why it works so well. The science behind plain text success. Now you might be wondering, if plain text is so effective, why isn't everyone using it? The answer reviews a fundamental misunderstanding about how our brain processes information. The cognitive load theory. When someone opens a design email, their brain has to process multiple elements simultaneously. Colors, images, fonts, layout, and text. This creates what psychologists call cognitive load. The more elements competing for attention, the harder it becomes to focus on the one core message. Plain text emails eliminates this cognitive load. Why? Because there's only one thing to focus on, the words. And this allows the message to hit with maximum impact. The authenticity bias. Our brains are wired to trust authentic communication over polished marketing. Plain text triggers our authenticity bias. We perceive it as more genuine because it looks like how real people actually communicate. Think about it. When was the last time you sent a message to a friend with a branded header or call to action buttons? The answer is most likely never. So when we see a plain text email, our brain categorizes as real communication rather than marketing message. The novelty effect. In the world where everyone's inbox is pretty much flooded with design emails, plain text stands out through contrast. It's the psychological equivalent of whispering in a room full of people shouting. I tested this theory by sending the same plain text emails to two segments. One that regularly received design emails, and another that received mostly plain text emails. The segment used to design emails had a 73% higher engagement rate with plain text versions. Novelty drives attention. Advanced implementation framework. So how do you exactly write your own 500K emails? I've refined this into what I called the 47-word framework. And let me give you the complete framework with advanced techniques. The core structure. Opening hook. 8 to 12 words. Here is where you want to acknowledge their specific behavior. I noticed you were checking out our new collection, but didn't grab anything. Then, next, problem acknowledgement. 10 to 15 words. Show that you understand their hesitation. I get it. With so many options, it's hard to choose. Solution presentation. 15 to 20 words. Present your offer as the solution. That's why I'm giving you 20% off your entire order to make your decision easier. Social proof. 8 to 12 words. Add credibility without being obvious. Over 2,000 customers have already upgraded their style with this specific collection. And finally, this is probably your most important thing. Clear CTA. 4 to 8 words. Make the next step as obvious as possible. Use the code SAVE20, but only for the next 48 hours. Advanced techniques. The because principle. Always give a reason for your offer, because it makes the decision easier. Performs way better than having no reason at all. Our brains are wired to accept explanations that starts with because, even if the reason is obvious. The founder voice. Always write from the founder's perspective, even if the founder isn't writing it. I'm giving you performs 34% better than we're offering you because personal connection drives action. The behavior mirror. Reference their specific actions. I noticed you were checking out performs way better than you showed interest in X because it mirrors their exact behavior back to them. The future self. Use language that helps them visualize the outcome. Upgrade your style helps them see themselves as someone with better style, not just someone who just bought clothes. The 3 email sequence. Don't just send one plain text email. You want to create a sequence. Email 1. The acknowledgement email. The 47-word framework in plain text email, of course. The story email. Why you created the product, plain text, 3 days later. Email 3. The final notice. Last chance, again in plain text. 2 days after email 2. This sequence generated an additional $89,000 for the same client over 30 days. When to use this framework. This works best for abandoned cart emails, win-back campaigns, exclusive offers, product launch announcements, post-purchase follow-ups. I typically follow a 80-20 rule. 80% design emails for regular campaigns, and then 20% plain text for high-intent situations. But you have to remember, you need to test this ratio with your specific audience. Here's how to properly test this framework. Step 1. Choose your test campaign and start with abandoned cart emails. This is where plain text performs best because the intent is already so high. Step 2. Create your control. Use your current best performing design emails as a control group. Step 3. Write your plain text version and follow the 47 framework exactly. Don't add extra elements or improve it yet. Step 4. Split test properly, 50-50 split. Same send time, same audience, and segment. And run it with at least 1,000 recipients per variant for statistical significance. Step 5. Measure the right metrics. Don't just look at open rates. Focus on revenue per recipient, click to conversion rate, and then total revenue generated. And you also want to take a look at unsubscribe rates as well. Step 6. Iterate based on results. If plain text wins, test variations of the copy. If design wins, test a branded text version. Plain text with minimal branding. I've now used this framework across 70 brands in different industries. Fashion, supplements, home goods, tech accessories, and it consistently outperforms design emails for high intent campaigns. But the most important thing to note is to test it with your specific audience. Here's what I want you to do right now. Take your next abandoned cart email and rewrite it using the 47-word framework. Test it against your current email and watch what happens to your revenue per recipient. But here's the thing. This is just one piece of a complete email strategy. If your deliverability is poor, even the best copy won't reach the inbox. If your flows aren't set up correctly, you're bleeding revenue. If you want my team to audit your entire email setup and show you exactly where you're leaving money on the table, we do free strategy sessions to take a look at your email strategy. I'll review your flows, your deliverability, and also your campaign strategy. The link is in the description. And if you found this valuable, make sure you're subscribed because next week I'm breaking down the email deliverability secrets that gets 99% of your emails to the primary inbox, including technical setups that most agencies get wrong.